While this fixture may lack the attacking glamour of yesteryear, the history between the two clubs still gives it that big match feel. Manchester United and Newcastle once battled it out regularly for Premier League titles with scintillating football, but Jose Mourinho and Rafa Benitez will be taking far more pragmatic approaches when the two sides meet this Saturday, and, albeit for rather different reasons, that could make it one of the more intriguing clashes this weekend. But which gaffer faces the bigger injury problems? Will the referee be a factor, and can previous meetings tell us anything about how this one will pan out? Football Fancast details everything you need to know ahead of the 5:30 p.m. kickoff. Despite once almost reaching parity at the very top of English football, Newcastle have only beaten Manchester United 5 times from 44 attempts in the Premier League. They've still managed to score more than a goal per game, however, and if the Magpies find the net at Old Trafford this Saturday, then Benitez will fancy his side's chances of holding on to at least a point. Burnley are the only non-top 6 club to concede less than them this season. Nonetheless, the win rate is impossible to ignore, and more than half of United's home meetings with Newcastle in the Premier League have resulted in wins. The only win for the visitors came in 201,314 when United finished 7th, their lowest final standing of the Premier League era. Referee influence. Craig Pawson. One refereeing statistic should gravely concern both managers heading into Saturday's game. Craig Pawson has officiated the most games, 9, of any referee yet to award a penalty this season. In other words, the 38-year-old is due one, and worryingly for Newcastle, we all know which way spot kicks tend to be awarded in front of the Old Trafford faithful. Overall though, there are some positives for Newcastle to take. Pawson is amongst the division's more lenient referees when it comes to fouls and tackles, and the Magpies will certainly need to make plenty of challenges if they're to grind United to a halt this weekend. Likewise, less than half of the games Pawson's taken charge of have resulted in home wins, hinting that he doesn't simply succumb to the will of the crowd, and that Newcastle have a decent chance of coming away with at least a point. That being said, the Tynesiders are yet to win a game under Pawson this season, drawing to Liverpool and losing against Huddersfield. Team news. After a series of attritional performances against Big Six rivals, Mourinho will want his side to produce considerably more attacking verve on Saturday. That will likely see a return to the Portuguese's more favoured 4,231 setup after lining up in a 352 against Chelsea, and popular attacking midfielder Juan Mata put back into the starting 11 on the right wing. The only real blow is Phil Jones, who suffered an injury on international duty, but Chris Smalling is a more than capable stand-in. The good news, on the other hand, is that Paul Pogba and Zlatan Ibrahimovic could both make the bench after lengthy absences through injury. At this point in the season, Newcastle's game plan is relatively simple, a condensed and rigid 4,231 that has Joselu leading the line and the midfield, making it as tough as possible for the opposition to break through. Benitez attempted a 442 last time out against Bournemouth, but the 10 defeat, coupled with the fact Manchester United have been imperious at home this season, will surely see the Magpies boss revert back to type. The real question's personnel. Captain Jamal Lascelles is set to miss out after suffering an injury against the Cherries, and Christian Atsu's absence will most likely see summer signing Jacob Murphy start on the left wing instead.